Alright, so tell us about the making of Lust in the City.
Lust in the City. Okay, so that was so it was like the middle of the night. It was like 12, and no, it was actually 11. But I was like I was just writing to this one beat that I found on YouTube. I do it over YouTube beats. I mean, what can I say? I mean, I still make some of mine, but YouTube sometimes has like them little treasures and stuff. And so I found like this like weekend reminder type beat, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try that. And so I tried it, and at first I was having a little trouble with it, and I came up with the hook. It was slow as hell how I was coming up with the hook. Like the sipping on this potion part, that was probably like the easiest part of that. Like I really had no trouble with that one, but I also had the from a no face to an open mouth. That was like probably it just came into mind. It was like probably, I feel like it's one of the more catchiest parts of the song. And yeah, it's just like usually whenever I write music, it comes to me like in the middle of the night or something like that. And that's why sometimes I tend to stay up late.
That creative mind, right?
It's all like
comes alive
at night. But yeah, and then as soon as I had the hook, I was like, I have something right here. So immediately I hopped onto my computer, and at the time everybody was asleep, and so I was just trying to be quiet, and I just dragged the beat into the studio, and then I started just fucking around with it. I started getting like a little mixer ready to record and everything, and I was literally the very first few takes, I was just like mumbling quietly the melody that I was gonna do with it, because I didn't have the melody yet. I just had I was saying it like from a no face to an open mouth. I had no melody to that, and so eventually that turned into from a no face to an open mouth. And then I don't know, after that I started writing it piece by piece by piece. After I would record something, think about what I'm gonna say next, record that, and just keep going and going, and eventually I just wrote it all down to do a final take of the song eventually. And eventually I got that, and it was like I had the song. It was like I finished it in less than an hour. I had it finished in November, but I wouldn't drop it later until like 2 months after that, like on SoundCloud. And then I ended up deleting it off SoundCloud because I don't know, it wasn't getting the views that I expected it to. It got like 150 or something like that.
Hey, it started at 0.
It's true, but the other tracks were just surpassing it. I had this other one called She Don't Love, and that one just surpassed it. It has like, right now it has like, I think, I can't remember, like 600 or 700 right now. It's doing much better than that one, but that one was definitely like it was mostly like a throwaway song. And I ended up releasing it on my Facebook and re-releasing it on my YouTube later on, like a few months later, which would be like now. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It was like, there's just a lot of thinking.
Okay. Well, yeah. All right, the song's finna start. We ready? Everyone, make sure you always look at me or look forward. You can toss it. All right, one take, Jake. Here we go. And get like as crazy as you need to be. Go. And you can walk towards me, bro. Back. Sipping on this potion. Sipping on this potion. Perfect.
Alright. Hello there. My name is, I go by NOIISE. I am from Florida. Well, at least I was born in Florida. I now reside in Austin, Texas, because, life, stuff like that. I am an artist, audio engineer, producer, graphic designer, and I guess I could call myself a photographer in some way, because I also do like video and like pictures and stuff like that. Alright, and I started making music back in, I believe 2016. First time I ever made music, I was recording in the restroom, which I find kind of funny and hilarious, because now I still record at my place and occasionally at the studio, but my restroom's always the freaking place I used to go to record. And I remember I came up off of a Low Life cover from featuring The Weeknd, and I'd have to say that they're within some of my top artists, which would be like Bryson Tiller, The Weeknd, Drake, Tory Lanez, and other artists like that, Nav, a lot of the EXO artists, to be honest. And then Trap Soul and Novio are pretty much heavily, that's what heavily influences my sound. It's interesting because like I'm not really into skating, and when I did try skating, I fell off and I almost landed on my face. But yeah, it's interesting because it's like you're sharing like what you like with other people, which isn't really like, it's not even like, it's related some way, but not completely. And I think that's different, and I like different. I like to try new things and everything, because that's how I get inspired, trying new things and meeting new people and having different experiences, and yeah, that's pretty much that. Not really, feels great.
Baby, you've been knowing since the first day.